You imagined, we delivered gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones pleaded not guilty to wire fraud and money laundering charges in a Brooklyn court today in an illegal gambling probe. Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups' arraignment related to the investigation is set for November 24th. LeBron James, a step closer to his season debut. James, out with sciatica, cleared for full contact basketball activities. Considering how well Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been playing, LeBron's role will likely be very different when he returns for the Lakers, says ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
LeBron James could impact the game in so many areas. Do I think he needs to be the primary ball handler? Absolutely not. But we could see LeBron James at the forward position, being a screener, being a roller, right? And being a guy that could play off the ball or spot up three-point shooter.
James could return around the middle of this month. The NHL's greatest rivalry of this generation resumes tonight when Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals visit Sidney Crosby and the Penguins, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN+. Baseball, Padres hired former reliever Craig Stammen as their new manager.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy coming on Friday. I'll tell you why a huge performance against the Bucs will put Drake May in the driver's seat for MVP. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Not today in the Raising Cane studio. On the road once again. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank in Baton Rouge. Thrilled to be here in advance of LSU Alabama this weekend. Great spot to come watch the game this weekend. And very pleased to have Gordon McKernan on site with us in hour number 3. So straight up 5 o'clock Central. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about with G, from Brian Kelly's firing to Scott Woodward being on the ouster to what happened last week with the governor to now having a new president, and now Verge Ausberry wasn't, is again in the full-time. Ton to do, and Gordon will be here with us in hour number 3. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Okay. So LSU has its athletic director. Yes, for real, for real this time. This has been a topsy-turvy 10 days, as crazy maybe as I've been a part of in my entire time covering LSU. And some of these wounds, quite honestly, have been self-inflicted by LSU. And I think that was absolutely the case here. Now, the most important thing as of this very moment is that we have clarity and finality that Verge Ausberry is LSU's athletic director. If you go to lsusports.net, they've even removed interim on his bio at lsusports.net. That change was made earlier today. We have a story up at louisianasports.net with quotes from a member of LSU President Wade Roos's staff from the president's office, speaking with the authority to speak on behalf of President Wade Roos. That story's up with quotes. I'll get to that in just a second. But the most important thing, there's two things of this that are the most important. One, LSU has its athletic director. It's Verge Ausberry. Period. Full stop. That's one. Two, I think Dr. Roos showed a tremendous amount of humility. And I think in this situation, which I'm going to explain in a second, and I think that's a sign of a good leader, and I'm very encouraged by that. So let me get the quick Cliff's Notes catch-up version in case you've missed any of this. So we know what happened a week ago. After Brian Kelly was fired, the governor put Scott Woodward in the crosshairs. LSU, Scott Woodward, Thursday, mutually agreed to part ways. Friday morning, there's a press conference. Two members of the board and Verge Ausberry. They install Verge Ausberry as the interim athletic director with full authority to hire a football coach. Tuesday rolls along of this week, just 48 hours ago, and LSU announces Dr. Wade Roos as the new president of the LSU system. That happened shortly after lunch on Tuesday. There was a reception Tuesday at 5 o'clock in the Stadium Club, I believe it was actually West Stadium Club, in Tiger Stadium, for Dr. Roos. At that reception, the word starts to spread, and as soon as I got off the air, I got a phone call that Dr. Roos had made the decision to drop the interim tag from Verge Ausberry's title, that he was not going to be the interim AD, he was the athletic director. So that news spreads. About 12 hours later, roughly, maybe a little more than that, Dr. Roos on Wednesday is at an event in New Orleans at UNO. He finds himself being not in a public setting, not like a press conference setting, as I understand it, in a private one-on-one, like off to the side. He was approached by a reporter from the Louisiana Illuminator. And she, Piper Hutchinson is the reporter's name, she asked Wade Roos the question about Verge Ausberry and dropping the interim. And that's when he gave sort of the now infamous line when he says, I'll remove the interim title and then we'll assess the situation. I can't make a very good decision being on the job 8 hours. So it looked like he had walked back. It looked like he had walked back that decision. To drop the interim and make Verge Ausberry the full-time athletic director. There was a lot of semantics. What's the difference between permanent and full-time? Or what? The bottom line is, I came away from that saying one of two things is the case here. Either he is doing what I believe the governor did a week ago, which is play a game of semantics to try to get home a point that feels disingenuous. When everybody knew, I'm not trying to unearth this conversation again, but a week ago, I think we all knew. And it took John Carmouche in that press conference saying point blank that when he said, let me be clear, the taxpayers have never paid for a coach and never will. But the governor was trying to force Scott Woodward out. He was using that as a catalyst, as cover to do it. We all knew it was disingenuous. Everyone knew it was disingenuous. And ultimately, he got his way. Fine. I wondered if that was the case, if that's what Dr. Roos was doing, or if he was a guy that, let's just call it what it is. He's been the president of a small school in Louisiana where people don't usually pay attention to what you say. He wasn't prepared for a question, misstepped, and then kind of stepped in it. And it appears as though that's what happened. I had the conversation this morning with the member of his, with the Office of the President, with his staff, who was speaking on behalf of Dr. Roos. And through that conversation, it became pretty clear to me that this was the direction, like this is what happened. He was in a situation, he did not have staff with him, he was not prepared to answer that question. What he should have done when asked that question on Wednesday was say, no comment, or my office is going to issue a press release soon, or when we officially announce it, I'll have comment then. There's a lot of different ways that he could have deflected or just refused to answer. He didn't, and he made a mistake. And this is the thing that actually gives me, that I'm very impressed. The other part of the quote that I got, so this was the quote that we have at louisianasports.net from the source within the president's office. Quote, Verge Ausberry is the athletic director at LSU. By the way, Paul, if you have this and you could pull it up on the screen, please do. Verge Ausberry is the athletic director at LSU, period. There is no intent or desire to play word games with this issue. Athletics needs a stable hand at the helm, and that is Verge Ausberry. Verge is fully empowered to find our next football coach and to run the athletic department. I asked the follow-up to clarify, to say, so what you are saying is that after the football coach is hired, there's not a search then that begins after the football coach for the full-time athletic director, correct? And I was told point blank there would have to be a vacancy in the AD job for there to be a search. There is no vacancy. Verge Ausberry is the athletic director. So the other quote was, Dr. Roos has been consistent that he will demand excellence at LSU across every department for every employee, and each of us will be evaluated based on our performance. And this is the key part. That is the sentiment he intended to convey, but clearly did not communicate it well. I love that line. When he says that is the sentiment he intended to convey, but clearly did not communicate it well. By the way, that quote was approved by Dr. Roos to send through his office to me and us at louisianasports.net. And I was told that at some point today there will be an official statement from Dr. Roos today. So I think that's actually going to happen on the Office of the President's social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So that I expect that's going to come at some point this afternoon. But the thing I love so much about that is the humility. Look, I think every human being walking the face of the earth can appreciate, like, sometimes we screw up, man. Sometimes we say things we don't intend to say or we don't communicate it well. I mean, I do it every day here. I mean, there are definitely days on this show where I talk all the time and I go, man, I could have worded that better. And people call me on it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should have said that better. I mean, hell, I put out a tweet on the Monday after Frank was the interim talking about Alex Atkins and Tim Rattay and play call, and I worded it horribly. It was my fault. Like, I did a very poor job wording a tweet about who was going to call plays and all that. I had to, I deleted it, said, let me clarify my previous tweet. It's my fault. Like, I screwed up and I just worded it very poorly. And so the message was miscommunicated. That's my fault. That's what happened here. It sucks for him that it was his first full day. And he had such a misstep. You want to come out the gates blazing and be awesome and you're on fire and you want it to be great and you get your flowers and bouquets after this long search and you're chosen and you're leading this giant LSU system and you want those things. And so, yeah, man, it's embarrassing and it sucks, but the worst thing that he could have done was continue to double down and create more issues. Instead, he said, you know what? I screwed up, man. What I was trying to communicate, I didn't. And Verge is our AD. Let's move forward. And I love that, man. I love that about him. It takes a great degree of humility, and I think that's a great sign of leadership as well, to acknowledge a mistake. And because of that, you can move forward. I was pleasantly surprised today when I put out that story and started reading the comments on Twitter and on my text line and all the different places we put it out there for louisianasports.net. The reaction overwhelmingly from you has been, great. All right. Now it's Verge. Let's go. I mean, I think that's all people care about. I said this yesterday, I'll continue to say it. Listen, I love LSU. I went to LSU. I'm an alum. I care very deeply about the school. Yes, I want LSU Athletics to be awesome and everything, as we all do. But 99.999% of the people in the state didn't go to LSU, will never go to LSU, and don't care about the school. That's okay. But everybody cares about or is impacted by LSU sports. So when on day one, the president is interjecting himself into AD hire, at the time you're hiring a football coach, he is under a microscope immediately, the likes of which he has never experienced in his career. Like, I don't know everything he's done, but I guarantee ain't nothing he's done put him under a microscope like this. It's a tough lesson to learn. He could be a brilliant guy and an awesome president of the university, and I hope he is. I hope he leads LSU in every facet to great heights. This was a misstep. He owned it. Verge is the AD. Now go hire a football coach, and we can see LSU play Alabama this weekend and move on. All right. A lot more that I want to talk about. As a matter of fact, just minutes ago, as we're starting here on the show, Brian Kelly has released a statement about his time at LSU. So we'll get to that here in a second. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with a great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, and the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. Come here to Court to Table, where we are today. All the bars are stocked with delicious ice-cold Bud Light. So you can play your pickleball here on any of the courts, or you can just hang out at the bar and watch your favorite game. Make sure you're drinking plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of the LSU Tigers. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Not only in Baton Rouge, all over the state of Louisiana. I got to start correcting myself on that. We will get to our Fantasy Blitz in about 30 minutes from right now. If you got fantasy football questions, get them in. You can email me, tweet me, or text me. 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get your questions in. And we will head to Tuscaloosa. We'll talk to Nick Kelly in 45 minutes to get the Bama side preview of LSU and Alabama this weekend. That's all coming up. Stay with us here on AFR from Court to Table.
After Further Review.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seaganeer Airline, LA-16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. Hey, look, it is a great time. Now is the time to just plant something. Thanksgiving will be here in about 3 weeks. Christmas is right around the corner. Make sure for these holidays that your home and the exterior of your home, both those flower beds, the patio pots, they are popping with beautiful fall colors. All those fall bedding plants and flowers, and there's no better place to get the best selection than Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, you can get by and see them, and right now is an amazing time to get those trees and shrubs in the ground because they love this cold weather. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. First time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Brian Kelly, for the first time since being fired 2 Sundays ago, has spoken out publicly. Now, a day ago, the email that he sent to a handful of LSU administrators at the time, Scott Woodward, Verge Ausberry, Julie Cromer, Austin Thomas, that email went public via Freedom of Information Records request. I believe WAFB had it first. But this is the first time that Brian Kelly has issued a statement or said something publicly since his firing. I'll go ahead and read the statement for you. And Paul, if you have it, if you could put it on the screen, that'd be great. He wrote, Dear Tiger fans, moving to Baton Rouge 4 years ago, my family and I were clear. There would be no halfway. We would be all in for LSU and for Louisiana. This journey began with great expectations, with my own vision of how to get there. Sometimes the journey does not end the way we hope. But when I think of our time together, I will remember and appreciate what we did accomplish, all the exceptional student athletes I had the privilege to coach. A Heisman Trophy winner and more than a dozen Tigers playing on Sundays. 39 players earning SEC Academic Honor Roll honors in 2024 alone. My daughter and son earning advanced degrees from LSU, and a third who began his career working at the university. The roar of Death Valley when we beat Alabama. The losses will always hurt, but I will remember all of the wins. I don't need to tell any of you how special Saturday nights in Tiger Stadium are. I'm honored to have worn the purple and gold and been a part of it. As everyone heads on their way to see the Tigers play, I wish Coach Wilson, the coaches, and our players the best this weekend. I know they will do their best for themselves and for LSU. We will be watching and cheering for you. The journey may have ended, but it's a journey that will stay with me but it's a journey that will stay with me and my family forever. Go Tigers, Brian Kelly. Very, very nicely done. Very appropriately done. I know I've said this, and maybe it's at the risk of being redundant here, but I do want to say it again. And it's interesting because I was doing an interview today on a 3-man front on Jocks FM, and they asked me sort of about Brian Kelly and what went wrong. And I know time will tell, and ultimately, we'll have plenty of opportunity in the days, weeks, months, years to litigate this, and narratives will be formed and believed a certain way. And sometimes I think when time passes, you're able to remember the good things. Like if I just think about Jerry DiNardo, for example, we can certainly look at DiNardo's tenure and how it ended. And it was bad at the end. I mean, 4-7 in 1998, then the 3-win team in 1999. He was fired after the loss to Houston. It ended badly. Most of the time when a coach is fired, they're fired because it's going badly. But I think you can also, as time passes, remove yourself and look at some of the positive things. And again, I don't anticipate here that many will do that today. But, when I think about Jerry DiNardo, he inherited an LSU program that was amid 6 straight losing seasons. In year 1, bring back the magic. Went to a bowl game. Kevin Falk comes in. The white jerseys at home, beating Auburn 12-6. I mean, it was, there were great moments. In 1996, they went to the Peach Bowl, beat Clemson 10-7. They won 10 games that year. I mean, 97, you beat number 1 Florida. There were good moments, and it was an important moment in time in the program. And I think as time evolves, we can think back and remember those things. It's hard in the moment. I think the same is true with Kelly. And I keep getting asked, what went wrong. And I think what he says there is it probably speaks to it a bit. He says, the journey began with great expectations, with my own vision of how to get there. Sometimes the journey does not end the way we hope. And I think that is the difference. I think that is the line baked in there. And at some point, Brian Kelly will speak publicly, and there will be more on the record and all these sorts of things. But, I think Brian Kelly came here, and we lose sight of this sometimes, when he showed up in late 2021, in December of 2021, NIL was 6 months old. I mean, that was the point in time where it seems like ancient history now. But remember, it was a big deal when Gordon McKernan did the NIL deal with Kayshon Boutte to keep him from going to Alabama. I mean, that was our first real awareness of NIL. And then over the last 4 years, that has evolved so dramatically. And I think the way Brian Kelly was accustomed to building rosters and building programs evolved in that era. And I think that's a big part of the reason why and it's ultimately his responsibility, but his methodology, or as he put it, his vision of how to get there was a certain way when he arrived, and the landscape changed. And I don't think he ever found the steady water. 23, your offense was outstanding. You had the worst defense in the history of the program. In 2024, you bring in Blake Baker. You steady the defense. It's not great, but it was better. And then this year you go but you went so light on the portal and an NIL in your roster a year ago. Then this year, of course, you went all in on the roster, which was a great deviation from what he had done in the past. And I guess it was just these, think of it like a seesaw, right? It's this seesaw that keeps going up and down. What you're trying to do is find balance and get that seesaw to even out. And he just never was able to get that to even out to where they were consistent. The way he would often say it is play complementary football. They were never able to quite do that during his time in Baton Rouge. And it's unfortunate for that. So I'm going to say again the thing that I said the day Brian Kelly was fired. I know what the public perception is of Brian Kelly, and nothing I say is going to change that. I know that there are people who think he's surly, he's a jerk, people don't like him, coaches don't like him, players don't like him, all that's, I know that's the perception. People make fun of the family thing and the taking the pictures with the photos on the spinning camera. I know it. Like everybody, that is, people have made up their minds about him, and so then it becomes confirmation bias. You just look for things like that to continue stacking bricks as you're building that narrative. I can only tell you my personal experience was I enjoyed covering Brian Kelly when he was at LSU. He was honest. He was accessible. I think he was forthright. He was professional. I mean, a lot of things that other coaches in this program, not just in football, but everywhere, aren't. And I'll remind you also, somehow this keeps getting forgotten for people who say that he wasn't all in. The man donated $1 million of his own money to try to build this roster into a championship roster. So I'll push back against that notion that he wasn't all in or he wasn't committed or whatever the case may be. I just think it's more a reality that he took the job when the college football landscape looked a certain way. And during his 4 seasons in Baton Rouge, the entire landscape of college football evolved into something different, something with which he was unfamiliar, and something of which a lot of coaches who have done things a certain way for a long time have struggled to adapt to, like Dabo Swinney and Mike Gundy and Nick Saban, who's on the way out, and who's out of coaching. And I think Brian Kelly's is in that number, in that mix of coaches who are very good at what they do and have been massively successful for a long time that have struggled in this era of how to find a way to win, which is why, as we talk about LSU hiring the next coach, my opinion, tone, tenor is dramatically different than it's been the last two times LSU hired a coach. My opinion has always been, you are LSU. You have all the resources. There's no reason to take an unnecessary risk. People want your job. They line up to take it. Go hire a proven coach who knows how to win. Well, you just did that, and it didn't work. So find a coach now who knows how to win in this culture of college football. And that could be someone like John Sumrall. It might be Frank Wilson. Let's see what the next month looks like. It could be Kelvin Shepard or Joe Brady. Or maybe it's someone like Dan Mullen, who was a great X&O coach, a brilliant offensive mind, great game caller as well, who hated recruiting. Well, guess what? Recruiting's done differently now. It's done with a checkbook. So that could work in this era. In any event, a nice statement by Brian Kelly. Time will pass, and we'll remember the Heisman Trophy. We'll remember the 2022 win over Alabama in overtime. We'll remember Ole Miss a season ago. We'll remember good things. Of course, the era will be marred with unfortunate losses as well and missed opportunities. But Brian Kelly with a statement there to LSU fans, his first public comments since being fired 2 Sundays ago. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We are brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website where you can learn more about the partnership. OLOLRMC is in Regional Medical Center. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. They've done amazing NIL deals with LSU athletes. You see the commercials with Garrett Nussmeier or Bauer Sharp or Jack Pyburn or Harold Perkins. They've invested so much not only into their support of LSU athletics, but also of the LSU athletes, the LSU student body, and all of Louisiana and part of the multi-state health system as part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. If you want to learn more, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, it's After Further Review, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge and all over Louisiana. We're at Court to Table on Burbank today. Y'all come on by, hang out. We're actually in the, what do they call this the court? We're in the court, where the room where all the courts are. That's where we are. They got an event in the Funky Pickle, the bar over there. So today we're where people play pickleball or drink beers or do whatever. Or listen to Scotty Doesn't Know, like me and Alondra were doing earlier. It was awesome. It was a jam. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty's got to go. All right, let me knock out a break, y'all. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC, and then Darin Tietgen with our Fantasy Blitz in 15 minutes. Get your questions in. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark in the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, 2 amazing hotel properties and the best places in town to host your event. Matt, what kind of event? Doesn't matter. Any kind of event. Watermark Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. If you step foot for one moment, step literally 1 foot into Watermark Baton Rouge, and you will understand this is the picture of luxury. Maybe you have friends, family, clients, whatever, coming in town for one of the remaining 2 home football games around the holidays. Make sure they know to book at Watermark Baton Rouge. Stay downtown, enjoy the downtown lifestyle and restaurants and bars and everything that downtown has to offer. It's a quick jaunt into campus down Nicholson, or of course Renaissance Baton Rouge, which is right there on Bluebonnet across from the mall in Perkins Row. 13,000 square foot of meeting space, big enough to host any event you have. It's Watermark and Renaissance Baton Rouge.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
So LSU with an impressive performance tonight as the final seconds roll off the clock. Horn sounds, and this one's in the books. The Tigers moved to 1-0 on the early season, and they hand Coach Matt McKernan his 200th career victory with a 96-60 win.
Great way to start the season. As I've told you going in, love our team. A lot of fun to coach. For having so many new guys, it's impressive to see how connected they are here early in the season. But I think you saw the unselfishness on the offensive end of the floor, the efficiency there. And then defensively, I thought we were really active. I was disappointed in the 9 offensive rebounds we gave up the first 9 minutes of the game. But we got that cleaned up and was able to build our lead and get a good win here on opening night.
Matt McKernan, after LSU beat Tarleton State 96-60. You know why you should not be in any way optimistic about this team after that game? A year ago on opening night, LSU beat ULM 95-60. Almost an identical score. LSU last year started in the pre-conference 11-2. Their only losses were at Pitt and SMU. They had the impressive triple overtime win over UCF. They won at Kansas State. And then you might recall they got into conference and finished 3-15. So I do not care that they beat Tarleton State by 36 points yesterday. Well, let me rephrase. I do care because Jimmy Ott told you to lay the 15.5, and so we cashed that ticket. How you like that right there? Give our guy a ding. Love to hear that. All in, man. But it's similar. Listen, you've got a roster that you actually went and invested money in. You should be better. You've got a garbage pre-conference schedule. UNO, FIU, Alcorn, Omaha, Drake, at Boston College. You will play number 10 Texas Tech on December the 7th. You'll play SMU, then Southeastern, Prairie View, Southern Miss, and then you get into conference play. So you'll probably be staring at another, 11-2 start, 11-1, whatever it'll be, start. You'll beat up on a lot of bad teams, and then you're going to get into the toughest, deepest league in America, and we'll find out if this is actually a good basketball team. I'm pulling for Matt McMahon. I think he's a really good coach that works very hard. His success that preceded his time at LSU is undeniable. This is also the toughest league in America, the deepest, toughest league, where a 6-win team in this conference last year made the NCAA tournament. So find a way to more than double your SEC. You can have a losing record in conference. Get to 7-8 league wins, go 8-10 in the conference, you're in the NCAA tournament. And I think that should be doable. Like, asking LSU to go 8-10 as a baseline expectation does not feel unrealistic. So, okay, blowout win over a bad team. They're going to have plenty more of those here over the next month and a half. But whenever they open up conference play against Vanderbilt, January the 10th, they open up against A&M January 3rd. Then we will have a much better sense of what this team will be. All right, it is After Further Review. We are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge and all over Louisiana. They always say it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Maybe, you just had a baby, you're coming home and you need to sleep at night. Well, their nurses can come stay with your infant overnight while mom and dad sleep, so you can be more refreshed and rested. Maybe it's end-of-life care. Their expertly trained nurses can help with that. I told you our experience. Drew needed some blood labs drawn. It is very difficult to try to draw blood labs on a special needs child that doesn't understand why you're restraining him. And so their nurses, Decision Critical nurses, came to our home at 9 p.m. to draw his blood and then raced. They had the lab stay open and raced out of our house to the lab to get them there so that we could spin the blood and run the labs. They are amazing. And by the way, if you're a physician and you do not know the services Decision Critical provides, you need to, because it would be so helpful to refer your patients to Decision Critical. So many physicians refer their patients to Decision Critical because even like post-op and surgery, their nurse can be there to get your post-operative instructions to help carry those out in the home to keep your patient out of the hospital and help healing and recovery. You got to learn more. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com. Title sponsor of our Thursday shows. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank right now. Muso. Let's go around the SEC. Hit it.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Auburn Tigers.
All right, DJ Durkin has announced that Auburn will stick with Ashton Daniels as their starting quarterback as they head to Nashville to face Vanderbilt. It'll be the second straight start for Daniels. Of course, he replaced Jackson Arnold 2 weeks ago in the win at Arkansas and then started the loss against Kentucky. Durkin of the decision said that Daniels gives Auburn their best chance at winning.
Texas A&M!
Scooby Williams ruled out for Texas A&M against Missouri. Of course, initially injured his ankle on an interception up at Notre Dame, was sidelined for a month, but then returned for the win against Arkansas and LSU. Now, after the bye week, he has popped up again on the injury report as out. 5 games so far this season, 18 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and, of course, that interception.
The Florida Gators.
Florida, this is tough for their receiving corps. Trey Wilson, he has been ruled out for the game against Kentucky. He was seen in a walking boot on Wednesday evening around the facility. There's been no comment from Florida on his status beyond the injury report. He stepped up in a big way in the cocktail party, 121 yards on 9 catches, and a 40-yard touchdown. Really couldn't come at a worse time for the Gators receiving corps. Remember, Dallas Wilson now out for the season. There's also 2 more receivers listed as questionable on the availability report.
The Texas Longhorns.
And a recruiting note, Dylan Berryman, defensive lineman out of Ouachita up in Monroe, has decommitted from Texas. North Louisiana native, originally pledged to the Longhorns on June 7th, choosing Texas over Purdue. 6'2", 325-pounder. 97th overall prospect in the country, 13th best defensive lineman, and the number 4 player in Louisiana. He will look elsewhere for his college career. That is Around the SEC.
All right, glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Paris Restoration, parisrestoration.com. You know, it doesn't matter if it's your home or a place where we are like right now at Court to Table in the pickleball court. Any type of home, commercial building they'll come by and spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. My buddy Jim Woodworth, his whole career has been in remediation, disaster recovery. He was there for the recovery post 9/11. He made his way back down to the South after the BP oil spill 15 years ago, and now helping people in their homes and office buildings, churches, schools, doctors' offices every single day. Remember, patented non-toxic dry fog treatment there at Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. It's Parish Restoration and parishrestoration.com. Get your quote online at parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all, glad to have you hanging out with us here on our, our Thursday edition. They're just words, Matt. Use them. Our Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Muse told you about Dylan Berryman right there. I'd be interested to see if LSU can get back in the mix. Bo Davis was his primary recruiter. That's the defensive lineman from Washita up in Monroe, had been committed to Texas. He's 6'1.5", 330. He's a 4-star, ranked number 216 nationally. Top 10 player in the state of Louisiana. Purdue is now thought to be the lean. But we'll see if a big part of this would be who else can get in the mix for LSU, considering you don't know who the coach is going to be. That's the really tough part for LSU right now, is trying to make any headway on the roster for 2026. And this will be I get asked a lot about Frank Wilson, his opportunity to keep the job. Well, even if he doesn't keep the head coaching job, his opportunity to stay on as a member of the staff, I think, largely will depend on his ability to keep the 2026 roster together. And so far, an amazing job that, the 15-day portal window that opens when a coach is fired, LSU has not had a single player enter the portal, which I think is a major testament to the job Frank Wilson does and the buy-in he has from the current roster. Of course, you expect attrition along the way, but he's done a great job so far. All right, it's After Further Review, presented by Decision Critical. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank in Baton Rouge. Let me knock out a quick break. Our Fantasy Blitz is next. Get your questions in here on a Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. My buddy Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Builders, man, they do an amazing job. And they have an option for everyone. It's so exciting. If you're thinking about building a pool or an outdoor kitchen, you might think, I can't afford that. Now, look, don't misunderstand. Duplessis Builders can do the gigantic, beautiful resort-style custom pool and outdoor kitchen. Go look at their Instagram, look at their website. It's incredible, the type of stuff and projects that they build and complete. But they also have a model and option and price point for any budget, starting at $49,000 for your own custom pool. You can pick out the pool. There's 11 different pool designs where, boom, ready-made. You can pick it out at their website right now. Check it out if you're interested. DuplessisBuilders.net. Same for their outdoor kitchens as well. Again, online at DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Duplessis Builders Pool.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. After Further Review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.net. The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the bitten?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz. Powered by whotostart.net.
All right, let's get it. Wrapping up hour number one, presented by Decision Critical. We're here at Court to Table. Darin Tietgen joins us, whotostart.net. How are you, dude?
Good. You know, after all these years, that intro music still pumps me up.
It still does, man. I think we've had the same intro literally for 15 years. But why change it if it's working? Hey, let's look at tonight. How about the Broncos and Sean Payton? They welcome in they welcome in the Raiders on Thursday Night Football. Who are we keeping an eye on?
Well, I mean, this on paper you think it's going to be an ugly game, but these rivalry games usually result in some decent outings for both teams, especially for fantasy. So we're looking at a couple things. First, for Denver, what they're doing at running back. R.J. Harvey's been kind of the touchdown getter for you, but really thinking he's kind of fool's goal because J.K. Dobbins is still there and gets the bulk of the carries. So if you're looking for a running back, we'd probably prefer Dobbins based on volume. On the other side, for the Raiders, no more Jacoby Myers, so it's going to be the Brock Bowers show. And we'll see if Ashton Diente, the rookie running back for the Raiders, can get on track with this game against the tough Broncos defense.
Cincinnati, Dallas, Tennessee, and Kansas City all on bye this week. So who are some sleepers that we're keeping an eye on if there's folks looking for a few pickups?
Not necessarily deep sleepers, but guys that we think might outperform their usual scoring. First being Woody Marks, the running back for the Texans. Looks like C.J. Stroud's going to sit this one out with a concussion, so they're going to probably lean on the run game a little bit more, and it looks like Nick Chubb might be out as well. So Woody Marks could see a heavy workload against a Jacksonville defense that could be run on. So Woody Marks is our first guy. And then Khalil Shakir, the wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, playing against Miami. Miami is just in shambles, especially their secondary. So this seems like a kind of game where Khalil Shakir would get either a ton of targets and catches, or possibly a touchdown, or possibly both.
All right, we'll get to your questions for Darin before you set your roster. Check with whotostart.net, whotostart.net. Remember, you can email us, tweet us, or text your question, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Trey says, Darin, who to start in the flex? He's got Krosky Merritt, Christian Watson, and Josh Downs. Who to start?
I don't want to rely on the Krosky, or as they call him, Bills. It's a messy situation there for the Commanders. I think you're going Josh Downs there. Seems like the kind of game that might be a little bit high scoring. Michael Pittman, also a great option for you at wide receiver from the Colts standpoint, but Downs should get enough points in the flex spot.
Danny says who to start, Alvin Kamara or Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones came back and it looks like he got dinged up a little bit. And he's sharing carries with Jordan Mason. So I think Kamara, obviously, has been a down year for him and the whole Saints organization in terms of scoring fantasy points. But I think Kamara might be the safer bet there.
Corey says J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey. Who to start?
Yeah, kind of touched in that with the open there. Harvey only gets about 20 to 30% of the snap share, but somehow he's scoring all the red zone touchdowns. I think the safer bet is probably Dobbins. He's going to touch the ball 15 to 20 times. Doesn't catch the ball, but I think Dobbins is the safer running back to go with tonight.
Donovan says Marcus Mariota or J.J. McCarthy. Who to start?
That's not a great set of options.
Right.
I think McCarthy starting to get his feet under him a little bit. Better matchup for him. I think I'm going McCarthy there, especially since Mariota is going to be without a lot of his main weapons.
See if we can get a few more in here. Matthew, PPR league, he needs help. He's got Parker Washington or Alec Pierce. Who to start?
I like Parker Washington, actually. It sounds like, Jacoby Myers can probably need a week or two to get acclimated to that offense. And Brian Thomas Jr. might actually be out for the Jaguars. So Parker Washington's been kind of a favorite target of Trevor Lawrence, and the matchup's pretty good. So I think I'm leaning towards Parker Washington there.
Here's one from Chandler. Trey Tucker, Booty, or Mooney. Who to start?
I think you can Booty there. Like the matchup, Drake Mason looking his way, especially for touchdowns. Yeah, I'm thinking Booty there.
Greg, who to start? Half a point PPR, Debo or Shaheed?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till Shaheed gets his feet under him on that Seattle offense. It might be a nice play down the road, but I think I'm going the other way until Shaheed's more acclimated to the offense.
Inside of a minute, I got two more. Dylan, who to start? Brian Thomas Jr. or Darius Slayton?
Yeah, it's just going to depend on Thomas's health. If he practices tomorrow and looks like he's good to go, he's the better option.
And then Cade has a quarterback question. Daniel Jones or J.J. McCarthy, who to start?
Yeah, I'm going Jones there, just the better option.
He's Darin Tietgen. Who2start.net, numeral 2, who2start.net. It's our fantasy blitz. You're the best. Thanks as always, man. We appreciate you.
Of course, thanks.
All right, be well. It is After Further Review. Thursday shows brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank, hour number 2 after Sports Center.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. It doesn't matter for what purpose you're buying land. If it's to build your family's dream home, if it's a recreational property, hunting, whatever it may be. Maybe you're in agriculture. I mean, let's be honest. If you're in agriculture, you know about First South Farm Credit. They've been helping farmers buy land for more than 100 years now, since 1916, through economic upticks and downturns, through natural disasters, through, pretty much anything you can imagine that's happened over the last 110 years. But First South Farm Credit has been there. If you want to learn more, your first call to First South Farm Credit, start at the website, FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. Get all the info there at the website. So explore that rural lifestyle. FirstSouthLand.com for First South Farm Credit.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones pleaded not guilty to wire fraud and money laundering charges in a Brooklyn court today in an illegal gambling probe. Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups' arraignment related to that investigation is set for November 24th. NFL Week 10 begins tonight with the Broncos hosting the Raiders. Denver's certainly on a hot streak, 6 straight wins, and could be the team that finally ends the Chiefs' nearly decade-long AFC West reign, says ESPN NFL analyst Ryan Clark.
Outside of playing the Kansas City Chiefs twice, you think about only the Packers left on their schedule. I think with where they stand at 7-2, right, and 5-4, and the difficulty of the remaining schedule, the Denver Broncos are going to be the team that win the AFC West.
New Colts cornerback Sauce Gardner cleared concussion protocol and is expected to make his Indy debut Sunday against Atlanta in Germany. Baseball, Don Mattingly is leaving his role as bench coach of the Blue Jays. The team did exercise manager John Schneider's contract for 2026. Wisconsin football coach Luke Fickell will return in 2026. The 2-6 Badgers currently winless in Big Ten play.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming on Friday. I'll tell you why a huge performance against the Bucs will put Drake May in the driver's seat for MVP. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing. We are live today at Court to Table on Burbank. Gordon McKernan will be here in 1 hour from right now on site with us for the bulk of Hour 3. And very much looking forward to that conversation with G to talk about everything that's happened over the last 10 days in and around Baton Rouge. So we'll get to that. Right now, though, LSU, believe it or not, is actually going to play a football game on Saturday. This has been someone asked me earlier, when was the last time LSU-Bama week was this quiet? I literally cannot remember. I mean, probably, maybe some of those bad Bama teams when they were shuffling coaches in the, after Stallings, the DuBose, Francione, into Shula, Mike Price, maybe that. It's something. Anyway, whatever. Let's head to Tuscaloosa and find out what's going on that end of it. Hit it, Muse.
The Tigers are on the hunt. Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Nick Kelly covers Alabama for AL.com. He's on Twitter @_Nick Kelly. Good enough to join us. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, Matt, good to be with you. Doing well, and watching from afar, certainly taking in all that's going on in Baton Rouge.
Dude, it's been something. But it's so odd. I don't know if you heard the lead-in, but this is, for a decade and a half, this was like one of the cornerstone games of the entire college football calendar. It has been crickets here this week talking to LSU Bama. What's the vibe like there in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, it feels like it's fizzled some, but frankly, it feels like it's maybe going to be too easy for Bama, and I think that's not a good thing for Alabama, because I think there's all this talk that, hey, Alabama's playing well, they won all these ranked games, and LSU is sputtering, and new staff, and Brian Kelly fired, and to me, that just it doesn't maybe bode well for Bama, because if they overlook this LSU team, but there's still talent there, and Frank Wilson could give some energy to this LSU team, and so yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Alabama handles this from a maturity standpoint.
Nick, one of the interesting things about DeBoer, and I know y'all have talked about it a ton there, but he's been excellent against ranked opponents. His Achilles heel has been when he's a double-digit favorite over unranked teams. What gives there?
I don't know, but I think that DeBoer's probably begging the ranking folks to put just some numbers by the team, or even just put some schedules around the locker room. He just puts a number next to each team they play, because they do really well in these big games, and that's why I think South Carolina was a big step forward, because that was it was an ugly game. Don't get me wrong. It looked like Alabama might lose it, but the fact that they found a way to win was a step forward, because to your point, for whatever reason, they don't always handle their business, or they haven't under DeBoer prior to that South Carolina game. So in some ways, it's been interesting, because Kalen and the staff and different people have been talking about, essentially hyping up LSU. Like, hey, they've got some elite receivers, returners, different things that trying to accentuate the good things that LSU has, because, Alabama has overlooked teams at times. And as well as the season has gone, last season they overlooked Oklahoma, and to quote Ty Simpson, they pissed that away and the playoff spot away, even though they were on track.
It's interesting because you're right. The LSU has talent. They just haven't played well. Let me dig in a little bit here with a few things about Bama that I find interesting. So statistically, they're a lot like LSU in the fact that they're very poor running the football. But at times it feels like I've seen Alabama successfully run the football. So explain to me what's going on there with a team that's ranked 114th nationally in rushing offense.
Yeah, it's not consistent, and it always seems to be that there's something that doesn't work. Like, say 4 guys could block well, but a 5th guy misses his, or he gets blown up on the line. So it always seems like just something is missing in the execution. And now I don't think they necessarily have an ace running back or a home run back, so that doesn't necessarily help. But you don't have to if you block well in the open holes. Jen Miller's a good running back. He's not bad. But it just hasn't lined up for some reason. And I think at this point it probably is not going to on a consistent basis. So I think you just need enough of a threat of a running game, maybe timely running, to go with what has been at times a lethal passing game.
Well, the passing game that you mentioned is the obvious thing to talk about, because Ty Simpson's been awesome. I think everybody knows 20 touchdowns, just 1 pick. That ratio leads the country. Nick, I don't know that anybody saw this from Ty Simpson. Maybe even the most optimistic Alabama fan could have been hopeful. But, I don't have a Heisman vote. If I did, he would be my front runner right now. What do you attribute this just seismic leap from a guy who lost the job to Jalen Milroe, who struggled a lot at times, to a guy that might well win the Heisman Trophy this year?
Yeah, I think in people's minds, just watching from afar, it looks like he went from 0 to 100. But Ty was solid last year in practice, and he had a great spring. And I think that Kalen DeBoer is kind of in a tough spot, because you have the guy coming back who had led Alabama to the Rose Bowl from 23. So you kind of And obviously Jalen was a talented player and did a lot of good things, but he kind of had to go with Jalen Milroe. But at the same time, Ty was behind the scenes really improving and really looking sharp and had a lot of people optimistic. So I think, to your point, I was not saying, Ty's going to win the Heisman or he's going to be a Heisman contender. But I think there was some thought and some confidence in what he could do because he was doing it behind the scenes for a while in a situation that was kind of tricky for DeVore to navigate in his first year.
Nick Kelly's with us, AL.com. He's on Twitter @_Nick Kelly. Give him a follow there. If you flip it over and look defensively at Alabama, it's another thing, Nick, where it looks a lot like LSU. Maybe not great against the run, but really talented on the back end. How would you define how that front seven has played for Bama this year?
I would say inconsistent. I mean, I think they've had some really good moments, but I think there have been some bad moments at times too. I mean, pass rush-wise, it hasn't been consistent, but I think they are improving. I do think Yante Pierre, he had 3 sacks against Tennessee, and he is on I think an upward trajectory. They've been decimated at that outside linebacker spot with injuries. They've had one guy who's out for the year, another guy who has missed most of the season. So that hasn't helped. But no, the pass rush is not consistent. And I think you've seen that at times hurt them. And at times the front seven hasn't defended the run well. But overall, I think they have gotten better. I mean, the Florida State game was absolutely the worst. They played on their heels. It was bad. But they have improved. So you don't quite know what you're going to get, but there's some playmakers there. And it's kind of a bend but don't break kind of defense. I mean, you look at Deontay Lawson, he made that clutch forced fumble against South Carolina late in that game. So they'll make plays. They've got some good players, just not maybe that 9-6 kind of LSU Bama defense or that kind of game that you're seeing. Not quite that level.
Brother, I think the only way we ever see that again is just a puke fest of football, like that 3-2 Auburn Mississippi State game years ago, or even Auburn Kentucky this past weekend, that 10-3 ball game. I mean, it would just have to be like that 9-6 game was actually a thing of beauty, which I don't know that we'll ever see that again in football. But
masterpiece, really.
It was awesome. A couple of more for you. So if there is a way for LSU, this offense that struggled so much this year, to find some success against that Alabama defense, where do you think it might come?
Yeah, I think it's running the ball, which maybe LSU fans don't want to hear because, from what I understand, the run game has been inconsistent for the Tigers. But I think teams that have had success against Alabama's defense on a consistent basis has been on the ground. Whether that's a mobile quarterback, whether it's a running game that finds gaps, it's not usually a consistent, getting 5-6 yards per carry every time. It's, okay, big run here, big run there, a lot of stops, and then another big run or something like that. So there are those gaps at times. So LSU's got to figure out a way to create that because, pass defense has been really solid for Bama throughout this year.
How's Alabama in the third phase on special teams?
I think solid. I mean, the kicking game, I wouldn't say it's something that you can feel good about, meaning if Alabama's needing a 48-yard field goal to beat LSU, that's not a spot they like to be in. I mean, Kalen DeVore loves to go for it on fourth down, which in part I think is his aggressive personality. In part it's the kicking game with field goals with Connor Talty has not been consistent and has been a little bit erratic at times. So, they don't quite have Will Riker right now like they had for those, 4 or 5 glorious years where they had pretty much automatic kicking.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Saban's Achilles heel for so many years, man. Saban and them kickers, and then he hit on Reichert there at the end, which was something to see. But in any event, hey, what do you think is the blueprint for Kalen DeBoer to get out of Saturday with a win?
Yeah, protect Ty Simpson. If Ty Simpson has time, I think Alabama is going to have a fairly comfortable afternoon, or I should say evening. But that's been an issue at times. They haven't always protected Ty Simpson well, and if LSU's front can get after Ty, I think that could go a long way toward disrupting this offense. So, if the offensive line can protect Ty Simpson, I think it's going to be a tough afternoon, or there I go again. Tough evening for LSU in Tuscaloosa.
You've covered a lot of afternoon games this year. It's interesting. I've watched a lot of Alabama this year because LSU's generally played at night and Bama's played during the day, so I've gotten to see quite a bit of them. But I guess all those old habits die hard. He's Nick Kelly, AL.com. Get him @_Nick Kelly. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. Have a good one.
You do the very same. Good stuff there from Nick. We appreciate it. It is After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR. I love telling you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're thinking of popping the question, I'm going to keep hammering this home. Remember, Lee Michaels, that's the place to go to buy that beautiful diamond engagement ring. They've been doing it for 4 decades. By the way, gents, maybe you got an anniversary coming up. Maybe it's a milestone anniversary. How about you trade in that old diamond for an upgrade? I mean, let's just be honest. Generally, you get engaged, you're in your 20s. Maybe you're not doing as much in your career financially as you might be doing in your 40s or 50s. It's just natural progression of life, right? You want to upgrade that diamond. You could do it at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. 10 locations, 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. They're all over. And they're online at LMFJ.com. Thrill her with a gift in the red box and always get that Lee Michaels experience. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR. We're here at Court to Table in Baton Rouge on Burbank. Gordon McKernan will be with us on site in about 45 minutes from right now. Man, I want to talk to Gordon about everything that's happened over the past 10 days. Brian Kelly's firing, the buyout, the governor, Verge being now full-time, a president in place, Bama this weekend, NIL, how do you keep the roster together, all of the everything. I mean, get to talk to one of LSU's top boosters. We're going to take advantage of that. Looking forward to having G with us here in about 45 minutes, so that's coming up. Stay with us. We're not got a quick break. Saints injury report, the updated injury report for Saints-Panthers is out. We'll get to that. We got what to watch in about 15 minutes. We got a lot to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here on a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You know, we've been having temperatures in the 40s in the morning this week. A lot of you, before you go to bed, you crank that heater on maybe for the first time this year. If you have not yet had your heater safety check, it's not too late to get this done. And I could not recommend it highly enough. I practice what I preach. Erica and I do this every year. Years ago, like when we got married, in our first house, we joined the maintenance club. And as maintenance club members, we get complimentary seasonal maintenance. That means during the winter, we get our heater safety check. During the spring, summer, we get our AC tune-up. And that's complimentary service when you're part of their maintenance club. Even if you're not, you still need to get this done. Call them today, 752-0001.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, Saints and Panthers this weekend up in Charlotte. After the trade deadline, it'll be interesting to see what the Saints might actually be able to look like. Of course, no Trevor Penning after you've traded him. No Rashid Shaheed. Of course, Eric McCoy's already out. We're going to keep an eye on Taliesin Fuaga and how that looks for his availability for this weekend. The Saints injury report is out for the Saints and Panthers this week. This is the updated injury report for today. So as we kind of look at what this looks like, the most notable DNP is still Taliesin Fuaga. He's got the ankle injury. Of course, he was carted off against this past weekend on the road, and I can't help but look at this and I don't know, man. This is giving me awful vibes like a season ago, where that offensive line was a total mash unit. When at one point you had 3 starters down, and it's kind of looking like it again, where McCoy's been lost to the season. Now you've traded Trevor Penning. Dylan Radins is going to go in at left guard, no doubt. If Taliesin Fuaga isn't in there, you're going to have a hole at right tackle. So really your most experienced lineman is, I guess Luke Fortner at center, but really Cesar Ruiz at right guard, who's your worst lineman. And then you got a rookie left tackle. Carolina is, as I look at them, that's not a great defensive team, but that's a defensive team that at times has played really well, if that makes sense. The Panthers right now are 16th in the NFL in scoring defense. They're smack dab in the middle, but that number is skewed because they gave up 42 on the road at New England. They gave up 40 against Buffalo. So you give up those big numbers against better offenses. Okay, well, I can also look at them shutting out Atlanta 30-0, or just this past weekend in Green Bay, going to Green Bay to play the Packers and giving up just 13 points to Jordan Love in that offense. So it's a Panthers defense that at times this year, has been good. What that team has struggled to do is find consistency. They shut out Atlanta 30-0, and then they get blown out a week later at New England 42-13. They get blown out by the Bills 40-9. Then they beat the Packers on the road 16-13. So that's a team that's 5-4, but they have struggled to find consistency, which means you could see a Carolina team show up that that beat Atlanta 30-0, or it could be the team that got routed 42-13, or was in just a total knockdown, drag-out 13-6 puke fest against the Jets, who might be the worst team in football. And that was before the Jets traded Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. So anyway, we'll see how it looks for that Saints offense. I think all of us are just trying to look at this team to see how they evaluate Tyler Shuck throughout the course of the remainder of this season, right? They gave Spencer Rattler 14 starts, 6 a year ago, and then the first 8 this year. And the remainder of this season is going to be Tyler Shuck's. And you got to find a way to get an evaluation on him, despite the fact that you're going to have a maybe the worst offensive line in football, and you just traded away the guy who has been your best your most dynamic offensive weapon in Rashid Shaheed. So this is going to be a lot of Chris Olave, Devon Vele, Juwan Johnson. Does Taysom Hill get more involved? I don't know. How healthy is Alvin Kamara? We'll see. It's just really hard to expect that this is going to look good at all offensively. So Fuaga's a DNP. The other DNP on Thursday was Devon Gottschall, but that's been every week. It's a veteran day rest day that he gets on Thursday. Brian Brzee was added to the injury report today. He was a limited participant with a back injury. So Gottschall and Brzee were the 2 new additions on the injury report. And then the others, those that were limited, Kamara, Stoll were limited. Kamara with an ankle, Stoll with an ankle, and then those on the injury report that were full were Taysom, Cam Jordan, Barry Wesley, and Jonah Williams. So Saints pretty healthy, but the one place where you've struggled so mightily on that offensive line, and you could ill afford to lose anyone else, your starting right tackle, Taliesin Fuaga, very much up in the air, because, look, if you're not at least out there in a limited capacity by Friday. We talk about this all the time, but especially in a road game where you're traveling, if you're not at least out there in a limited capacity by Friday, it is hard to imagine him giving it a go on Sunday, because you got to fly with elevation. A lot of times there comes swelling, and so with that ankle, man, it could be a challenge. But this isn't the first time Fuaga's battled injury this year and gone out there and given it a go. He's had the knee injury already this year, and now he's battling the ankle. The flip side, the one name above all others that we got to keep an eye on for Carolina is Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle, the former South Carolina running back, he has been awesome this year. One of the biggest surprises in the NFL, averaging nearly 6 yards a carry. He's already over 700 yards rushing on the season. Rico Dowdle, with the quad injury, was a DNP Wednesday, limited Thursday. So he was out there in a limited capacity. You have to figure they are just ramping him up slowly to get him out there however they need to get him ready to go on Sunday. But listen, this is a Carolina offense that Bryce Young has been certainly not dynamic. They're 30th in the NFL in passing offense. So, and look, they drafted Tetairoa McMillan with the 8th overall pick. So they've got some investment there in their passing game, especially with Bryce Young being a former number 1 overall pick, and then McMillan. Then of course you had Xavier Legette as well. So you've got investment there into some playmakers, but that offense has gone this year as Rico Dowdle has taken them, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. He's been great, man, and so that's the thing to keep in mind. And this is a Saints defense that has been really bad against the run this year. So can they find a way to stop the run or limit the run, make Bryce Young beat them throwing the football? But then, our Kool-Aid McKinstry and Quincy Riley, Alontae Taylor able to limit that passing game and those receivers. We'll see. It's the lot in life of being a bad football team, which the New Orleans Saints are. But keep an eye on Rico Dowdle and his health. The other thing, just really quickly on the injury report for Carolina, there were 2 new names. So Bryson Tremaine, a wide receiver, was a new addition with a hip injury. He was a DNP. Derek Brown, this could potentially be significant. He was limited. He was not on the injury report Wednesday. Then he was limited Thursday with an elbow injury. It doesn't look like it's anything serious. I mean, he was out there just in a limited capacity, but something worth watching as he's been a menace. Everyone here remembers Derek Brown from his time at Auburn, just one of the more dominant interior linemen of that era over at Auburn. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move through Friday and toward the weekend. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters too. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know, when the weather gets colder, you walk by windows and you often hear people say, oh, it's a drafty window. You could feel the cool air coming through that window. Well, those are costly air leaks. When your window isn't sealed properly, that cool air can get in. That, of course, means that your heater has to work harder to keep your home cozy and comfortable. Well, that costs you more money. So what do? You install energy-efficient replacement windows they measure twice at Relief Windows, install once, every window custom-made for the exact specification of your home. Even like if you're in a neighborhood that requires, the HO requires wood windows, they have wood windows at Relief Windows that come with a lifetime transferable warranty. Y'all, they're never going to be the cheapest, to say it all the time. If you're just getting quotes to shop price, it's never going to be Relief Windows. They're never going to be the cheapest. They sell a premium product with exceptional customer service and a true lifetime transferable warranty. If you want the best, there's one choice. It's Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Lee Sterling's best bets in 17 minutes from right now. Very much looking forward to that conversation. Lee will give us picks on a handful of games, see what he thinks about LSU and Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Muse, Paulie, and I will give you our what to watch here in about 15 minutes. When we come back here at Court Stable, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. 3 things that we're keeping an eye on this football weekend. We'll do that as we roll along. It is a Thursday edition of AFR. We are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're live at Court to Table on Burbank. Gordon McKernan with us in 32 minutes. Y'all stick around here on AFR.
After Further Review.
Let's Rev, y'all. REV, letsrev.com, letsrev.com. I love telling you about Rev for a lot of reasons. So Rev, they're local, first and foremost, and have been for 90 years. 90 years. Also, they have everything you need. Like if you're looking for cable services, if you're looking for home automation, all that stuff, Rev does it all. But most importantly, be it for your home or your business, Rev offers a high-speed, all-fiber network. Fired up. A couple weeks ago, the Rev crews were in our neighborhood, trenching my yard to lay that fiber. And again, that's the benefit of an all-fiber network. Storms come, winds blow, knock down power lines. A lot of people get knocked offline. Not if you're a Rev customer, part of their all-fiber network, because the lines are underground. They're buried, so you have to worry about that inclement weather coming through. You're never offline, and always high speed up to 5 gigs in the backing of a local all-fiber network. It's Rev. Let'sRev.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Cruising along here, halfway home on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. As they always say, it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com. Remember, not just in Baton Rouge, however, all over the state of Louisiana, and soon to be opening their Dallas office there at Decision Critical. All right, Gordon will be here with us in 30 minutes from right now to start hour number 3. We will get to our best bets of the week with Lee Sterling coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. But every single Thursday, Muse, Paulie, and I, as we kick off the football weekend with Thursday Night Football, we give you 3 things to watch in the football weekend. Let's do it now.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, we'll go ahead and get this started here. We'll look at Oregon at Iowa. Man, this is a big one. Top 20 matchup. Oregon needs it for their playoff hopes, though. What's their best win? At Penn State? Well, that doesn't look as good as it did a while ago. Yes, Iowa, they might end up 8-4, but a win in Kinnick will always stand up, especially in the month of November. Oregon has been bet up to a 6.5-point favorite. They are the better team, but a really tough place to play. We'll see if they can get it done because they need it.
I'll be watching Texas A&M and Mizzou. Texas A&M 8-0 on the season, coming off that blowout win against a team that will remain unnamed. Missouri has lost 2 of the last 3 games, and the biggest loss of all is quarterback Bo Perbula. Matthew Zollers will become the first true freshman to start at quarterback for Missouri since Drew Lock started the final 8 games of the 2015 season. A&M looking to take advantage of that freshman QB and all but lock up a playoff spot. Can A&M run the table, finish the season undefeated, and finally find themselves in Atlanta for the SEC championship game?
BYU and Texas Tech, a top 10 matchup, just like we all had it before the season started. It's 11 a.m. on ABC. These 2 teams are the favorites to win the Big 12. Red Raiders at minus $1.70, and the Cougs are plus 320. BYU, one of the few remaining unbeatens remaining in college football. There's only 4. BYU's among them. I have continued to fade BYU all season long, and they continue to escape with a Houdini act. They did it against Arizona. They did it against Utah. They're an underdog in Lubbock. I'm not surprised that they're an underdog in Lubbock, but at this point, I'm probably just not going to keep putting my hand on that stove. BYU at Texas Tech on Saturday.
Auburn and Vanderbilt up in Nashville. Obviously, look, DJ Durkin's first game as the interim head coach for the Auburn Tigers. You want to see if there's that interim bump. Told you earlier and around the SEC, Ashton Daniels will get his 2nd consecutive start for Auburn. Came in the Arkansas game to play the second half. Mixed results between that and obviously the game at Kentucky. But the matchup that's most intriguing here is Auburn's defense is really good. How do they handle Diego Pavia, who we know is a dynamic playmaker? If Auburn is to stay in this game, it'll be on the backs of their defense, as it has been all year. Maybe there is a little hope for an upset.
No, I will not actually be watching this game, but I will be interested to see the New York Jets following the trade deadline. So they were playing the Browns this week, and the Jets have totally hit the reset button. They traded Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams at the deadline, They acquired 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver, and defensive tackle Maisie Smith. So the Jets are the favorites to win the number one to land the number 1 overall pick. They do play the Browns, who have 2 wins. So can the Jets, quote unquote, screw this up and actually beat the Browns this weekend?
Massive opportunity for Jacksonville this weekend. They take on Houston. C.J. Stroud not expected to play as he goes through the concussion protocol. Texans, they're already down and out at 3-6. Jacksonville right now with a big opportunity. They're 5-3 after the overtime win against the Raiders in Week 9. They're still growing there, but this is a Texans team that has been really good defensively, but a big opportunity here. If Jacksonville can pass protect for Trevor Lawrence, they'll have a great opportunity in this ballgame and move to 6-3. It's a giant opportunity for Jacksonville against a C.J. Stroudless Houston. Can they take advantage?
My last one is Sunday Night Football. Steelers at Chargers. Long cross-country trip for Pittsburgh. They're a division leader. Los Angeles, they're trailing the AFC West by 1 game so far. No tackles for Los Angeles against that Pittsburgh pass rush. That's the matchup to keep an eye on. Already some money coming in on the Steelers.
And I'll be watching Patriots versus Buccaneers. New England's one of the surprise teams in the NFL this season. They look like they've hit on quarterback Drake May. New England 7-2, riding a 7-game win streak. The Bucs are 6-2, coming off that win against the Saints. Baker Mayfield has been an early season MVP candidate. Both teams looking to extend their lead in their respective divisions.
And you better be paying attention to Baltimore against Minnesota. The Ravens had no issues last week against Miami in getting Lamar Jackson back. And despite being 3-5 on the season, how important is Lamar Jackson? The Ravens are 3-5 on the season. They still have a 56% chance of winning their division. Well, it's also a really crappy division right now. But they added Draymond Jones at the trade deadline to help with that defense. They'll be going against this week a really good Minnesota defense. But this is one as Baltimore continues their climb out of the cellar. We'll see if they can get Baltimore's a 4-point favorite against Minnesota. There you have it. That's what we're keeping an eye on here on this football weekend. We'll come back on Monday and tell you how it all bore out. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Schedule that consultation. Y'all, it's November the 6th. We're getting near the end of the year. If you have HSA or FSA funds remaining, don't let them expire. You can use that toward your LASIK, your PRK, your custom lens replacement, or your EVO ICL. That's the implantable contact lens. That's an alternative to LASIK. LASIK changes the shape of your eye. The ICL, the EVO ICL, implants a contact lens, and that is a reversible procedure. Point is, there's options. It's affordable. They have financing to match any budget. It's the Williamson Eye Center. You want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever? Dr. Blake Williamson can help. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Hey, we started the show today with my thoughts on what happened with Dr. Wade Roos, the newly elected LSU president. Told you that we had we have a report up at LouisianaSports.net this morning, an exclusive convo that I had with a member of Dr. Roos's staff there in the office of the president, who had authority to speak on behalf of the president. Sort of clarified that Verge Ausberry is the LSU athletic director. No ambiguity. There's not going to be a search for a new AD after a football coach is hired. Effectively acknowledging that the president used a poor word choice in the interview he gave on Wednesday. They owned that completely, which I respect tremendously. Talked about that to open the show. And now, if you follow the president on social media, at LSU President is the Twitter or the X account. Dr. Wade Roos did take a photograph with Verge Ausberry. This is very much their message to the world that yes, Verge has taken over this role. The tweet from Dr. Roos, and again, it's at LSU President if you want to give the account a follow. It's a photo of Dr. I said Rouse, excuse me, Dr. Roos. Wow, old habits die hard. Of Dr. Roos and Verge on the field at Tiger Stadium, and the tweet reads, "I just had a terrific meeting with LSU's AD Verge Ausberry." No interim, no acting. I think it's a very, very, very carefully thought out word choice. I just had a terrific meeting with LSU's AD Verge Ausberry. I can't wait to get to work with him in our world-class athletic department. Now, let's beat Bama this weekend. Go Tigers. Again, that's from the Twitter for Dr. Wade Roos, the new LSU president. So, Verge Ausberry is LSU's athletic director. No ambiguity. They've removed interim. It's done. He's the guy, and LSU moves forward. All right, it is after further review. Gordon's here in 18 minutes from right now. We're looking forward to that conversation. When we come back, Lee Sterling joins us with his best bets. It is a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical. We're here at Court to Table in Baton Rouge.
After further review.
Man, I love telling you about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. And, you know, I know whenever I say it often, like, people laugh at the name or the funny logo with, like, the steeple. You get it, all the, like, the double entendre and everything with it. But the bottom line is, the reason I love telling you about what Goodwood does is because every single day they help people live healthier, more fulfilling lives. Like, it sucks going through life being sick and tired, feeling achy, and going through the aging process. I'm 43. I've lived through some of that. A lot of you are older. You think, man, I wish I was 43. If you're right there, if that's where you are, and you want to feel like you did when you were 43 or 23, it's possible. Hormone replacement therapy could be an option for you, but a simple blood test will let you know. Maybe it's something like Samorelin or Tesamorelin, some of the other growth hormones where they can supplement to get you feeling like you did when you were younger. Learn more today. YourGoodwood.com.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They cradle and cool.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Place your bets, gentlemen.
It's time to head to the window.
Don't gamble it all in one place.
This is Lee Sterling's Best Bets, brought to you by Paramount Sports.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we're here at Court to Table in Baton Rouge, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Lee Sterling jumps aboard with us, preview the biggest games. Lee, how are you, man?
I'm good. Headed a couple more shows to Joe's Stone Crab. You ever been here, mind going to Joe's?
I have never been to Joe's in Miami.
All right. Well, if you're ever in Miami, be my treat. So
deal.
Always a good time. It's the scene. It is the scene.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Go there. So
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
Hey, not talking about Miami, but how about in the state of Florida? Gators were close, man, against Georgia. Now they got Kentucky, which just pulled off a big upset. Got Hugh Freeze fired. Gators are 3.5-point favorite here. Lee, make sense of that for me.
Well, I think Kentucky, for some reason, just can't get it done at home. So lost all 3 home games here in SEC play. Defense kind of curious. They ranked 94th in passing yards and have allowed giving up just 6 touchdowns through the year all season. So the Gators defense, they've allowed just 18 total touchdowns in 8 games. Kentucky, I just don't think they have the firepower here. They're 104th overall in scoring. DJ Lagway hasn't been elite, but at least cutting down on the interceptions. Just 3 since week 3 against LSU. So their running game getting going, over 110 yards rushing, 3 of the last 4 games. I like Florida here, 30-17.
What about the team that eked past Florida last week, Georgia? This is an interesting line, Lee, that we've already seen move a little bit. I think right now it's 7.5. Georgia on the road at Mississippi State. Can the Bulldogs keep it inside the number?
I think it's going to be tough here. So why do I say that? They were on the field for 80 plays last week, and year 2 that follows a disastrous year 1 and some of the most profitable things out there. Mississippi State's 8-1 against the spread to date right now. But
wow.
I just think that they're going to have to get a couple breaks here. And this Georgia team, they just keep moving on, and there goes. So go their quarterback, and he's the engine that lights the fire here with this team. I think they're going to win, even heading into that Texas game next week, 35-24.
Okay. Lee has been an ATM, by the way. 3-1-1 a week ago in Fuego this year. Vandy has got Auburn this week. Of course, Auburn with DJ Durkin. One of the things I always ask Lee is about that interim bump and if that may serve Auburn here. But Vandy nearly a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, and I think actually the Vanderbilt offense is slowing down a little bit. So they're not scoring 40, 50 points anymore. Their offensive line, they just don't have a lot of depth there. Their rushing game, just 58 yards last week against Texas, through 3 quarters. They really weren't in the game here. Auburn, if they head back to their starting quarterback, they'll be better served. Thought that going to Daniels was kind of a stopgap move, and there's a reason why Stanford tells you don't let the door hit you in the you-know-what on the way out. So I think Auburn's defense is going to get a couple takeaways here, and they've been the one constant. Vandy escapes 23-20 again, but I'll take the 6.5. Take a shot here with Auburn.
Okay. Lee Sterling is with us, ParamountSports.com, ParamountSports.com. Aggies trucking along, man. They have got a date in the playoffs, possibly an SEC championship game appearance in their crosshairs, and they are a 7-point favorite against a Mizzou team that's down their starting quarterback, Bo Prabula. We think the Aggies roll here?
I'm going to give you a not-so-early 2029 draft preview.
Okay.
I think Matt Zollers is going to be a top 10 pick.
Okay.
The kid's a stud.
Muse, mark the tape. Mark the tape.
Yep, mark it down. So I think he's special, but arm strength is incredible. But Bo Prabula would be better for this game, running and throwing the football. And Zollers doesn't have that threat running the football, and he's staring down his receivers right now a little bit. So You'll notice the arm strength, but he's got a lot to learn here. Also, his best receiver, Brett Norfleet, who plays tight end, H-back, receiver some. He's not 100%. If he plays with a shoulder injury, he could be limited. After that, the next four guys are only averaging between 8 and 12 yards of reception, whereas Craver and Concepcion for A&M, between 15 and almost 18 yards of reception. This Missouri team is good, but under Eli Drinkwitz, since he got their own 6 straight up against top 10 teams, A&M stays unbeaten, 28-17. Yep.
28-17, so win and a cover for the Aggies. Before we get to LSU Bama, I see here on the sheet we got Packers-Eagles game of the week.
Yep. Love this game. I think there's a clear right side. Anyone wants to get it, be one of the first 5 callers. Call 800-400-9741. 800-400-9741. 800-400-9741. That's 800-400-9741. Of course, you can always get on by ParamountSports.com as well. All right, Lee, LSU have had 2 weeks to stew over Brian Kelly getting fired, all the tumult here. Meanwhile, team's been insulated over there practicing. They're a double-digit dog on the road in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 10 is the number. Tigers got a shot to keep this thing close, man? Well, Alabama coming off playing and beating 5 straight ranked opponents. Impressive. We know coaches like Florida's Billy Napier and Penn State's James Franklin were well-liked. They played hard for him before and after. So I think this is different. I think you're going to get a bump here. I think these kids just didn't like Brian Kelly. He wore out his welcome here. Completely different story. The administration reaching out to welcome back the alumni and fan base. And I know the numbers are awful. Raw offensive numbers, 25 or less points in all SEC games. They're ranked 124th in rushing offense out of 136 teams. And the teams below them played on Tuesday and Wednesday night pretty much this week. So that being said, Alabama is good. But I don't see them as good as the teams that played and won national titles here. And the way you match up strengths here is Alabama's strength against LSU's strength, pass defense, and I think Garrett Nussmeier is gonna show out here. Alabama escapes 30-24. I'm taking the 10.5. It wouldn't shock me if LSU wins. I would bet 2/3 or 3/4 of the money on LSU plus the points. Put some on the money line, and if they win, we'll be able to order a bunch of desserts, a lot of key lime pie at Joe's Stone Crab when you come down. All right?
I'll look forward to it. He is Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Thank you, Lee.
All right, Matt. Take care.
All right, we'll do it again next week. It is After Further Review. Love having you aboard with us here. We always enjoy talking to Lee. We appreciate our friends over at Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. As a matter of fact, we're right here on Burbank. On the other side of Burbank, and about, a quarter mile down the road, is the Burbank location of Shaw Bills. You can find the one nearest you. Just go to the website at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, CHABILLS, ShawBillsTire.com. Of course, name brand tires at wholesale prices. And they're going to give you, of course, they'll treat you like family, and they could service your vehicle with whatever you have going on. Oil change, tire rotation, brake squeaking, check engine light on, whatever is going on with your vehicle. They'd love to service you. They can help you out at Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. They'll treat you like family because that's what Mr. Charlie said they were going to do more than 50 years ago when they opened their doors, and they still hold true to those tenets today at Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, Hour 3 staring us in the face here from court to table. Gordon McKernan joins us on site next.
AFR.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Hey, I get to remind you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Hey, we're getting close to the holidays, so I will soon be able to start telling you about everything coming up for your Thanksgiving feast, Christmas time as well. But listen, no matter what day of the week it is, you got to do your grocery shopping. Rouse's, they've been helping you do that for 65 years. Rouse's.com is the website, or you can always download the app, and I always encourage you to download the app. Sometimes you're just in a hurry. And so what you could do is you could go to the app, choose your items. Your personal shopper will go pick out the items for you, and then you pull up into one of the designated spots. They'll bring it out to your car, and if you spend $35, it's totally free service. So why wouldn't you do that? Save you time. Something that became very popular during COVID and has just continued to explode in popularity. They do it every day over at Rouse's. 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Rouses.com. Best supermarket in the Gulf South. It is Rouse's. Rouses.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones pleaded not guilty to charges he profited from rigged poker games and provided private information about NBA injuries to sports bettors. The charges stem from last month's federal takedown of sprawling gambling operations. LeBron James a step closer to his season debut. James out with sciatica, cleared for full contact basketball activities. Considering how well Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have been playing, LeBron's role will likely be very different when he returns for the Lakers, says ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
LeBron James could impact the game in so many areas. Do I think he needs to be the primary ball handler? Absolutely not. But we could see LeBron James at the forward position being a screener, being a roller, right? And being a guy that could play off the ball or spot up three-point shooter.
James could return around the middle of this month. The NHL's greatest rivalry of this generation resumes tonight when Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals visit Sidney Crosby and the Penguins, 7:30 Eastern ESPN+. Wisconsin football coach Luke Fickell will return to the Badgers in 2026.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, not only in Baton Rouge, but all over Louisiana. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank in Baton Rouge. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Muse Paul back in studio. Alondra on site with us. We had a little bit of a scheduling snafu. So Gordon McKernan is joining us on site. He went to studio, so miscommunication. So Gordon's hauling here to Court's Table from studio. So give him about 15 minutes. He'll be with us in the next segment. We'll look forward to having our convo with Gordon as soon as he can get over here from studio. So that's a bummer. Communication matters in life. When we started the show, we were talking about we started the show talking about President Dr. Wade Roos, the sort of the misstep yesterday, which created a big firestorm. He owned it, and they're moving on now, and that's fantastic news. And Verge is the AD and all that stuff. But this is I said it in hour one, like it happens to all of us all the time. Mistakes happen. And so we had a miscommunication there. We'll have Gordon on site. I am very much looking forward to having Gordon with us here because we had a lot of ground to cover. So we'll keep him for a couple of segments, provided he's got the time to do it. But I'm very much looking forward to having Gordon because, look, I mean, he is a central figure in LSU athletics. He is one of LSU's biggest boosters, donors, contributors, and he certainly has a relationship with Brian Kelly, Scott Woodward, Verge Ausberry. I mean, all of the particulars as these dominoes have fallen here in the last week and a half. He's very familiar with the inner workings of all of it. I'm looking forward to having Gordon with us. So there's a great resource. We can have this conversation. So be patient. Give us about 10 minutes as Gordon jets over from downtown Baton Rouge here to Court to Table. Thankfully, it's not far. You just right down Burbank to get to Court to Table. So Gordon will be here in just a smidge, and we'll have him on, and we'll look forward to that. All right, it is after further review. A couple of things while let me just sort of check a few boxes here to get through this segment till Gordon can get here. Two things in particular. At the end of last hour, I shared with you that LSU President Dr. Wade Roos has issued, I guess, his first public statement since his, well, I shouldn't say his first public statement. I guess issued his statement since the quotes that yesterday got into a little bit of hot water. He has a photo of he and Verge Ausberry on the field at Tiger Stadium. This is on the LSU president's social media accounts. On Twitter, it's at LSU President. The quote is, or the tweet reads, "I just had a terrific meeting with LSU's AD Verge Ausberry. I can't wait to get to work with him and our world-class athletic department. Now let's go beat Bama this weekend. Go Tigers." Very clearly, that is designed as a vote of confidence, saying definitively, yes, Verge Ausberry is the athletic director at LSU. We, over at LouisianaSports.net this morning, reported with a few quotes from a representative of the LSU president's office speaking on behalf of Dr. Roos, effectively acknowledging the mistake in the wording yesterday, calling Verge the acting athletic director and saying, could make that decision in 8 hours. It was, if we're just being very honest with what that was, which is very clear now, it was Dr. Roos being unprepared to answer that question. And it wasn't a press conference setting. He was at an event at UNO. The reporter walked up to him and asked him about many things, one of them being Verge is the athletic director and removing the interim tag, and he just wasn't prepared to answer that question. And that's a lesson learned the hard way. It created a firestorm on his first full day there after being appointed, and that's unfortunate it happened that way. But again, as I said, now we're one that I'll reiterate here. I respect the humility to say, I screwed up. Here's what I should have said. Here's the decision, and we're moving on. So respect very much that, and hopefully now that allows LSU the ability to move on, which for Verge Ausberry and this committee, it's the most important thing for them and the ability to move on in a coaching search. And to have candidates interested in this job, it's going to take an outward show of stability. Listen, I've been asked a ton, is all of this drama over the last week and a half, and certainly the last week that started with the governor last Wednesday, is that affecting LSU's coaching search? Well, I don't think there's any reason or any doubt that one of the reasons they moved quickly to remove the interim tag on Verge was because of the coaching search. If LSU wasn't hiring a football coach, they probably wouldn't have had to move so quickly to remove that interim tag, or felt that they had to move so quickly. Or Verge very likely would have gotten the job anyway, but I think that's certainly a component. It's naive to think otherwise. But, I also look at how this is going, and being able to move forward, there's a lot of variables therein that need to be considered. Like, for example, I look at how this contract for whoever the new coach is going to be, how that's going to be structured. Think of it in these terms. Verge Ausberry has assembled this committee to hire the new coach. It's Verge, and then there's 5 other people. We now know that Dr. Roos is the 5th person, but who he mentioned was Scott Ballard, the chairman of the board, John Carmouche, the head of the athletics committee on the board, and then Ben Bordelon, who played football at LSU. His 2 sons played LSU, and he's the CEO of Bollinger right now. Massive company. And then E.J. Kuiper, who's the president CEO of the FMOL health system, of which Our Lady of the Lake is a part. Keep in mind, that's a $4.5 billion health system. This man is the president and CEO of a $4.5 billion company, okay? So when I think about why those people are on this committee, and you might think, well, what do any of them know about hiring a football coach? And that may not be off base. That's true. To the best of my knowledge, none of them have gone through the process of hiring a football coach. Now, Dr. Roos has been the president at McNeese. Did he have any involvement in hiring of coaches there with Heath Schroyer, the AD? I don't know. I mean, he can answer that question later. But, think of it this way. When you are the head of a major organization, you have dealt with hiring and firings and gigantic contracts, both with employees and with third parties, and you manage massive organizations. I mean, LSU is depending on how the revenue goes this year, is going to be north of maybe close to $300 million revenue business this year. And LSU football is the biggest piece of that. So when you're trying to hire a football coach and work out a contract that is going to be agreeable, when the governor said, look, we're not doing 10-year deals anymore with giant buyouts, well, how do you structure a deal and negotiate a contract and convince someone to take your job when there's all these variables in place? Well, having someone involved in those conversations that consistently has those types of conversations in the business world can be critically important to help negotiate those contracts and structure a deal that makes sense based on the experience they've had in structuring multi-million-dollar deals. So I think it's very smart how they've built this team, how Verge has built this team around him. Listen, I think we all understand Verge Ausberry knows football. He played football at LSU. He's been an LSU athletics administrator for a quarter century. He's been part of 4 football coaching hirings. Now he's going to lead this one. He's been through the process. He'll manage it. I think the biggest question with this hire is the money and the timing. I think we can all agree that Lane Kiffin would be a great hire. Can you get the money right? Will the timing work out with him potentially leading his team to the playoff? And if the answer to those is no, okay, well, what direction do you go then? Are you looking at Eli Drinkwitz? Are you making a run at John Summerall? If you are, sounds like you're going to have competition with Auburn. So I guess all this to say, there's a ton of variables mixed into this to making this hire. And it was so important to eliminate self-imposed hurdles, which LSU had done by mutually agreeing to part ways with Scott Woodward, creating ambiguity with who was not only going to be making the hire, but who ultimately would be that person's boss. And then the semantic firestorm of the last 24 hours or so, like, you needed to eliminate the self-imposed restrictions. And I think LSU did that today. They did that today with Dr. Roos making the comments that he did, with officially naming Verge now as LSU's athletics director with no ambiguity. And it allows Verge to lead this search with that committee and have real open conversations and dialogue with agents, representatives, coaches about what direction they're going to move forward. And yes, the benefactors that are ultimately going to pay the contract for the next coach. One of which will likely be sitting by me here in a few minutes. All right, we're at Court's Table, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. It's Thursday, y'all. Get the weekend started off right. It's 5:13 in the evening. If you're knocking off of work, like if you're in Baton Rouge, don't go home. Go to Supper Club. Matt don't have a reservation. That's okay. Always open seating at the bar. 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. Pop on into Supper Club. Have dinner right there. Enjoy cocktail, glass of wine. Maybe you have clients in town. Bring them to Supper Club. There's no better place to go celebrate an anniversary, celebrate a birthday, celebrate anything, to entertain a client, to close some business. It's just the best place where you're going to have the most phenomenal meal and experience anywhere. It's Supper Club. Stone crabs are in at Supper Club, and they are fresh. They buy directly from the fishermen. So literally in the water yesterday, on your plate at Supper Club today. That's Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're aboard with us here on this Thursday edition presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm going to knock out a quick break. Hopefully when we come back, Gordon will have made it over here. Apologize for the confusion there, but Gordon McKernan set to join us here at Court's Table just as soon as he can get over from downtown Baton Rouge. So Gordon will be with us just as soon as he can be, and we'll have Gordon for the remainder of the show. We'll talk all these things that we've been knocking around here over the last 10 days or so. We'll get to that as we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we're brought to you by Darin James & Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. One of the great things I tell you all the time about working with Darin, there are 1.5 million realtors in this country. 1.5 million. Wall Street Journal every year puts out its Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Darin James, number 14 on that list. Understand, 1.5 million realtors in the country. Darin James, right here in our market, number 14 in the country when it comes to the transactions, the number of homes closed. And oh, by the way, let's say you're moving out of state. Darin has a network whereby he can sell your home here and refer you to a realtor in the new place where you're moving that offers the same level of service that he does. So you benefit on both sides of it. It's Darin James. Agent225.com, agent225.com. You need to sell your home, you need Darin James.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, glad to have you with us here. We're at Court's Table in Baton Rouge on Burbank. Great spot, man, to come hang out. They got tailgate, love you too. They got tailgate to-go packages. If you want to get your food for your tailgates, you can get it here. And also the LSU Bama game on, so LSU Bama watch party here at Court's Table. If you've not been to Court's Table yet, 10 out of 10 recommend. The food's outstanding. If you love to play pickleball, you can rent the courts here. Or if you just want to come hang out, have a great meal, watch your favorite sporting events, the Funky Pickle, which is the giant bar area that they have with bar, lounge areas, cornhole, shuffleboard. It's amazing. Like, it's such an incredible venue for Baton Rouge. If you've not been, if you're coming into town, like, make plans to come spend part of your football Saturday or any day here at Court's Table. We actually have at Guarantee, we have our company-wide quarterly meeting here next week. So it's a great spot here at Court's Table on Burbank. All right, it is after further review. While we wait on Gordon, we keep checking through a lot of the potential coaches whose names keep getting brought up in coaching searches. And I get it's super odd that it's LSU Bama week, and we're not talking LSU Bama. But it's just the nature of it. The coaching search is commanding more attention, and rightfully so, than the game and what feels like to many a lost season. So, but every time a coach whose name has been mentioned goes on the record, we're going to talk about it. We did with Dan Lanning when he was on the Rich Eisen show and said point blank in no uncertain terms, I'm not leaving Oregon. Lane Kiffin has given his denial. Kenny Dillingham is giving his denial. Well, it's Brent Key's turn, and I don't know how much of a target Brent Key would be for LSU. I'm not saying he won't be a target for LSU. I think Brent Key has done an incredible job at Georgia Tech. I mean, he had him until last week with their first loss in the top 10 in the country. So I I absolutely think that's a name worth keeping an eye on. And as a matter of fact, as I look at the odds that were put out, Brent Key at plus 1,400 was behind Joe Brady, John Summerall, Lane Kiffin, James Franklin, Eli Drinkwitz, Clark Lee. I mean, there were 6 names ahead of him before Brent Key, and he was ahead of Jimbo Fisher, Jeff Brom, Marcus Freeman, Kenny Dillingham, and Dan Mullen. So take these names for what they're worth and the betting odds and all that stuff. But Brent Key's name's on the list, and so Brent Key, the Georgia Tech coach, was asked about his name popping up for all these head coaching jobs. This was here on Thursday. Here's what he said.
Since I came back here, since I was named the head coach here, Kelly, outside of the time with my family, every waking second of my life is going towards building this program to get to the point that it is right now. So that in turn we can continue 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, continue to elevate this place, right? To be in that conversation, not to be in there for 2 or 3 weeks, but to be a consistent team. Not when you lose one game, people say, oh, the storybook's over. Nah, it's just beginning. I could go on and on. I could say yes, no, all that crap. Slice me open and see what colors I bleed.
All right, Muse. Let's play the game. Brent Key, what type of answer was that?
Matt, that was Brent Key with one of the better non-denial denials I've ever heard.
In fact, it was a non-denial denial. That's amazing, man. My goodness, Brent Key. I mean, he said a lot without saying a damn thing. Cut me open, see what colors I bleed. Every waking moment has been dedicated to building the program. We lose a game, it's over. No, it's just beginning. Yeah, but Coach, are you interested in other jobs? It is worth noting that for Brent Key, he's from Birmingham. He played at Georgia Tech. So he is coaching at his alma mater. It's interesting when you talk about guys like Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, Brent Key at Georgia Tech, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. These are guys that are coaching at their alma mater. It's not to say nothing could ever uproot them out of that, but it certainly feels like that would be a tough pull. But Key is one of those guys that in this era that I sort of talk about, makes a lot of sense, man. He's 47. This was his first head coaching job. He was the interim at Georgia Tech, who had the interim tag dropped and got the job full-time. He was a GA at Georgia Tech. He coached at Western Carolina, at UCF with a bunch of different roles. He was the offensive line coach at Alabama before going back to Georgia Tech as the associate head coach, and then now, of course, is the head coach. And overall, he's 26-17, and you can see from taking that job over in 2022 as the interim, when they went 4-4 during his interim stint, 7-6, 7-6, and now boom, 8-1, trending toward an appearance in the ACC championship game and a possible playoff appearance. So he is built there now in his third full season as the head coach at Georgia Tech. But a non-denial denial there from Brent Key, and another one worth potentially keeping an eye on. We have kept an eye on all of these coaching searches over at throughout the SEC, and it looks like there might be some movement on the Arkansas job. I'll get to here in just a quick second. Remember, love telling you about South Point Volkswagen and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. They're open late, so even if you're knocking off of work right now, you've been thinking about that new vehicle, great opportunity to get by South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, where you can shop them online at South Point Volkswagen. Shop your vehicle online. Check out all the features that you're looking for. Narrow it down. You can even work out financing. It's so easy the way they have it set up to where, like, for example, when Eric and I have bought or leased vehicles over at South Point, I mean, I'll walk in. I mean, it's 5 minutes signing paperwork and you're out the door. It's not like a day-long process anymore. They've got it down to a science. Brad and the whole staff over there on the business side of things do it so well, and all of their sales staff are so approachable. When you deal with Volkswagen, it's about fun, buying experience. They're the best. It's South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? So it sounds like as we've talked about the SEC jobs that are open, Arkansas was the first, followed by Florida, LSU, and now Auburn. And it looks like Ryan Silverfield, I don't know if this is out there on Twitter or anywhere yet, but I'm getting text now that it sure seems like he is going to be the Arkansas coach. And it looks like this may happen soon, like maybe as early as tomorrow. So that if that does happen that way, then that would be the first big domino to fall here in the SEC. But then, of course, as the coaching carousel spins, when one job is filled, then another job opens. So hypothetically here, if Silverfield is the guy at Arkansas, it appears based on the text I'm getting, it sounds like that is about as close to a done deal as it could be. It might even be announced tomorrow. But if that does happen, then Memphis would open. So then you start to see how that carousel spins and more jobs start to open up. But he's been at Memphis there since the COVID year as the head coach since the COVID year. Was an assistant from 2016 through 2019, became the head coach in 2020 in the COVID year, and has been there ever since. So he's 45 years old, man. Got started on his in his coaching career early. But as a head coach there at Memphis, 50-22, 27-18 overall. And he's had a 10-win season in 2023. They were 10-3, then 11-2 last year. They're 8-1 right now. So, and obviously beat Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl earlier this year there in Memphis. So keep you posted there. But it looks like we could have movement on one coaching vacancy being announced tomorrow. So we'll see if that does actually happen. And there is a letter in my inbox right now that just came into the inbox. It's a letter from LSU Athletics. It's a letter from Verge Ausberry confirming him as the athletic director. Very quickly, I'll read it. We'll break and we'll get to Gordon. Gordon's here. Okay. All right, let me knock out this break, actually. Gordon's here? Okay, let me knock out this break. We'll stay on time. We'll come back so I can maximize our time with Gordon. We'll do it next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. How fitting. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. I get to do the Gordon read literally as Gordon walked right by me. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. I love telling you all the time about Gordon McKernan, not only because I get to talk about the way that they help injured people in our state, but I get to talk to you about Gordon McKernan and the many different ways that Gordon, his law firm, all the people involved give back to the communities they serve. As you've probably garnered the many times he's been on the show now, you can hear it, the genuine and sincere way that he loves to give back to the communities that they serve. Be it the bicycle giveaway, which is coming up here in about a month, the laptop giveaway around graduation, the NIL deals that they do, and certainly places like where we are today at Court to Table. Gordon is about giving back. His law firm, GordonGives.com. You'll see the philanthropic arm of everything they do, and we love to tell you. If you've been injured, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. a family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, we're back at Court to Table, and we do have Gordon McKernan joining us here. How are you, sir?
I am. I'm tired, but you know, good.
Well, we appreciate you making the effort and jetting around town.
I did. I was actually out of town playing in the golf tournament this morning in Texas, and flew in and then went to your studio and was sitting around, and I went to the wrong place.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's my bad.
It's poor communication all the way around.
No, it's not you.
We're glad to have you.
My side.
Hey, there's so much I want to cover with you, and we got a couple of segments here. I mean, the show's ended in 22 minutes, but let me start, if I could, just with your reaction to the decision to fire Brian Kelly and commit to the buyout, which I think you and I and everybody's talked about for 4 years about that massive number and how untenable that was going to be. Just reaction whenever you heard that was the decision they were going.
Yeah, well, I think it needed to happen. We were losing money either way, right? The one way we're losing money on the field with Brian Kelly and all those things. The other way we're losing money doing the buyout. But the brand was getting damaged. You could feel it, right? Being in the stadium, talking to people. He wasn't as committed. My players, at least, were telling the guys on my team, would tell me, I don't really know him. He doesn't spend time with us. So there was damage to the football brand, which then damages the LSU brand. And I think that's what happened on that Saturday night when we come in here and they came in here and just whipped us. And you're seeing empty suites, empty seats. There's no energy there. And it looked like BK didn't care. And I think he had just kind of checked out, and he's got his paycheck. And you can't have someone who's not motivated. I was telling someone the other day, Saban had to win. He couldn't lose. BK didn't have to win. It was nice if he won, right? But think about it. Think about the intensity and the difference that you see time in, time out. And that was the difference. I think everybody finally came to that conclusion, said, we can't do this any longer.
When that Sunday played out, well, go ahead. Wait, you're laughing. Now tell me.
That was a wild day. That's all I can tell you.
What was Sunday like for you? I know what it was like for me.
Yeah, I got a call from the governor that morning on something. Just, have you heard? I'm like, no, Governor, I haven't heard that yet. And from there, just started making all my contacts and started piecing things together. The meeting, and Scott was there. And what the board say, and was he fired, not fired? It was a crazy day. And then had to be summoned up to the mansion after that, for some talks, because, Governor knows I'm a big supporter of LSU and NIL and keep my thumb pretty close to it. And it was an interesting 24 hours.
So you were, you just disclosed, so Gordon was at the meeting with the governor, with Scott Ballard. There's a handful of other folks that, if they want to be named, they can at another point. But you were there. Can you, from your perspective, describe, this was the meeting about the buyout that the governor talked about on this show a week ago.
Right.
Can you describe what you took away from those conversations?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that the governor wasn't involved in the firing, right? He didn't say, we got to go fire him, because that had already happened that morning to Scott and Coach Kelly's meeting. This was about where are we? All right, he had legal there, he had athletics there. He was just trying to get brought up to speed on where are we? What can we do? What are we going to do with the buyout? Should we buy it out now? Do we just kind of put it over there? What about our new coach? So it was very much an information gathering session, and the governor is very good at probing and asking questions and getting information back. So that's what it really was, is a question and answer. Let's assess where we are. Let's make some good decisions. And that's pretty much the overall theme of that.
Can you give us any insight into the buyout talks? Because there's been a lot of information. I asked the governor this a week ago, and he shed some light. He said, they hadn't reached an agreement. There wasn't one person who agreed to pay the whole thing. I think there had been some of that.
Yeah.
Like he said in front of the show, so where are things with that as best as you know?
Yeah, so any contract, right? So if I hire you, right, and I say, all right, Matt, I want to hire you for the next year to do 12 shows, and here's what I'm going to pay you. We sign it and I agree to it. And then 6 shows in, I go, well, no, it's really not working for me, but I'm going to continue to pay you every show for the next 6 months, right? I can do that, but we might come back and try to buy you out for a little less without you having to do everything. And I think that's what's being explored right now. The option to reduce the payment is still there, but the option just to pay Coach Kelly out under the next 6 years is still there as well. So they're not rushing. They're and I appreciate they're being very deliberate in how they're approaching this. And these coaches want that big paycheck right away. And I kind of like it. I kind of like no, we're going to take our time. We're going to figure this out. You'll see what happens later. And that's uncertainty. And anytime in negotiations, you don't want uncertainty on your side.
It's the way I kind of compared it. It was like if you win the lottery, do you want the lump sum or the annuity?
Correct.
The lump sum's going to be less, but you get it all right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of maybe where LSU is hoping that Brian Kelly would take less, but less now. Do you think that if need be, that LSU supporters could pull together that money to make the lump sum payments if they want?
It depends on how big the lump sum payment is, because I think this governor is very intentional about not rewarding mediocrity. And it bothers him at his core, as it should. He likes winners. He likes programs that win, people that win. That's who he is. So he will. I'm not saying he's going to get all involved, but that whole aspect of just a big check will give heartburn to people on the board and people in Louisiana. And I think he's very aware of that.
The other thing that is important to note, though, and John Carmouche said it last week, is that again, this is not going to be taxpayer dollars. I think we're beyond that. We understand,
Correct.
like everyone understands. I understand by the letter of the law what the governor was trying to say, but I think we also understand why he was going that direction. And so there's Gordon McKernan's with us on site here at Court's Table. The other part of last week's craziness was that Scott Woodward and LSU mutually agreed to part ways. How do you feel about that decision?
Yeah, I'm sad about it. I expressed my concerns to the governor on it. I think Scott Woodward's a great person, a man of integrity, a man of honor. And I think he was really good at his job. I mean, the 6 championships, the hiring of Brian Kelly, and that day during the meeting, it was reset for the governor, was not Scott Woodward alone. I mean, there was a search committee. There was multiple people involved recommending to the board. And Scott was just carrying out what the board's directive was, right? So we're down to these 3. Here's what we can do. What do you want me to do type thing? Scott, go pursue this person. So he goes and pursues and works the best deal he can, which he brings back to the board, which is a unanimous vote to hire Brian Kelly. At that time, he's the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. And everybody at that time thought it was a coup. How could we get Brian Kelly from Notre Dame, right? It just didn't work, right? It wasn't Scott's fault. In my opinion, just Brian Kelly wasn't the right guy for this place, whether it's lack of culture, lack of fit, lack of passion, whatever it was. He just wasn't. But to put this all at his feet, I think was wrong, and I've told the governor that. I respect the governor in how he sees it. They had a little headbutt, he and Scott. He would acknowledge that. They didn't see eye to eye on several things, and I understand why he felt he had to do what he had to do. But Scott's been a 50-year friend. I love him. I care for him. Wish him nothing but the best and the next part of his life.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I think there's I disagree with Governor Landry as well on the Scott Woodward front. I think Scott Woodward is an outstanding athletic director, and I think removing him or parting ways is a mistake. Just my opinion. That doesn't have to be anything more than just two people disagreeing functionally on a direction for something. I do want to get your opinion on what's happened here in the last 48 hours with the new president and with Verge, who I know you've known for a long time as well. Let me grab a break so we can stay on time. We'll come back. We'll continue with Gordon. We're here at Court to Table. Gordon, of course, one of the investors here. It's his place. What a great gem. We're going to be here next week, Guarantee, as we're having our quarterly meeting for Guarantee Corp here next week. So we're looking forward to that. It's an awesome spot. Come on by Court to Table. LSU Bama watch party on Saturday. They have tailgate to go packages as well. So make sure you can order those tailgate to go, your catering packages here from Court to Table. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with Gordon next.
AFR.
Love telling you about Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. They're complete employer solutions. The way I say it, complete employer solutions, is intentional because they don't work for the employee. They're not a temp staffing agency. They're looking for permanent solutions in your business, any type of business. Doesn't matter if you're a broadcast company, a law firm, a pickleball sports bar place. If you need permanent employees, that's what Glow Resources does. And I love the fact also that their home base is right here in Baton Rouge. On Perkins Road, near Pennington, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, primarily what they serve, but they serve businesses all over the country and all over the world. Jareth Knockan's built an awesome business, and they use their net, they cast their net of resources to find you the person that's going to help make your business the most profitable and most productive it can be. It's Glow Resources. Start with that exploratory phone call at glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com, complete employer solutions.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown,
parishbuilt.com. Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport.
That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. Always love telling you about Blaise Rivette, the great team over at Decision Critical. Not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Concierge nursing in the home, at the doctor's appointment, whatever it may be. You can schedule that discovery phone call. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank. Gordon's hanging out with us. By the way, awesome place. I know we talk about it every time, man. This is just... I hope everything. It seems like every time I'm here, it's packed. There's events. Yeah. We're in the courts today because the Funky Pickle is booked for an event. Yeah. It's just you and Ozzy and Bob and all the investors. Y'all built a beautiful thing, man. It feels like the community is responding to it.
I think so. We've seen that grow, and what I didn't at least anticipate. Maybe Ozzy did. Who, by the way, his food is what separates a lot of what we do here, right? I mean, his food's just better.
Yes.
We did a great job with the design, the layout on the campus, but, again, the food is just great.
My wife texted me, was like, can you bring us dinner home? I'm like, yes, I will.
But we didn't expect the number of event inquiries that we get. I had no idea. We get about 35 to 40 a week.
Wow.
Trying to book out a birthday party, a corporate event, want to have a firm retreat, whatever it is, Halloween, Christmas parties. I had to hire my niece, Maggie LeBlanc-Gladney.
Yes.
She's great. So she's awesome. Taken to it and doing great. But, it's being well received. So for the upcoming holiday season, if you want to host anything, we certainly would love to have you here and show you our hospitality and how great this place is.
I know I tell you every time, but it's phenomenal. And the other thing I would tell you too is if you're a parent and you're looking for something to do with your kids, where you can let your kids rip and run and burn off some energy and have a good time, and like mom and dad can have a glass of wine or beer or whatever. And if you want to play pickleball, great. If you want to just sit and watch games, great. You want to hang out. I'm excited for when the weather gets cold and you get fire pits and things outside as well.
They're out there ready.
It's going to be great. So really, I mean, it's not just lip service. Y'all really did an amazing job with this. I'm excited about it. So Verge Ausberry just minutes ago, LSU released a letter from Verge, who's the new athletics director. First of all, Dr. Wade Roos. You were just telling me. I've never met him, spoken to him yet. Tell us what you can about Dr. Roos.
Yeah, well, I was fortunate enough to serve on a transition committee when Governor Landry came in, and I don't know why I was put on education. That's where they put me. And I quickly realized I was not the smartest in the room. And Scott Ballard was across the table from me, and Wade was at the other end, and those two were the smartest in the room. And I found him to be very open. I found him to be warm. I found him to be just a good guy. I mean, just a guy you'd say, yeah, I like him. And he's very, very smart. So I think LSU got a great hire. I think the governor was smart and hired him. Someone from here, from McNeese over there. I think it's a good thing. I think he's going to do a good job. Now, obviously, nothing's perfect this side of heaven, right? Yeah. And a little handoff of the baton between the board, Verge, him, however it happened. And you hate to see those things, but that's going to wash away a couple days. No one will be thinking about that. They'll be thinking about Alabama.
Yeah.
Did we beat them? Did we not beat them? And who's our coach?
Yeah. I think they personally, I told you this in a break, I'll say it to our audience. If I was them, I just wouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah.
I just muzzled everything. Let the Alabama game happen and you go on with life. But I think they handled it today about as well as they could have. And the thing that I respect about what Dr. Roos did today is he just owned it.
Yeah.
Like, instead of getting into a game of semantics to try to cover work, and he's like, look, I screwed up. I should have said that better. I didn't. Verge is our guy. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and you respect that, don't you?
I do, yes. That shows a tremendous amount of humility, which is a sign of a great leader.
That's what we teach our children, right?
Yes.
Anybody. When you make a mistake, just own it.
Yeah. It sucks that it happened the first full day
That's
of the job, but it's life.
That's right.
Okay, so the decision to promote Verge.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's great. Known Verge for a long time. He bleeds this school, right? Purple and gold. He's all in. He's really well respected, and your viewership may not understand how well respected he is nationally in football circles. I've had a couple of national reporters who call me from time to time, reach out, and they're like, this was a good hire. Let me tell you, the coaches and the agents of the coaches liked it, and they see there's more stability immediately. They trust Verge, and if he's recruiting them, they can believe him. So I think quickly to hire him was a great decision. I think he's going to do good things for the university. He's all in. Everybody loves him. I think it'd be great.
I agree on all those sentiments. It's almost sometimes I think the tendency is let's go have a big national search. Sometimes the right answer is there.
Right.
Like sometimes the obvious choice is the obvious choice for a reason.
Yes.
Okay, so now Verge will hire a football coach. Are you going to have any I know he's named his committee. Are you going to have any say-so involvement?
No, I'm not involved. I like to be aware, but I'm not involved, and I don't call up and bother them and go, who are you down to and those things. I generally know the generalities, that the search has shrunk down to a few people now. They're honing in on their targets. From what I understand.
All right,
so
who are those few people?
You know, you won't believe me when I say this. I don't even ask that because I don't want to know that. I don't. I just want to, how's it going? Is there anything I can do? Do you need any help from me? And they don't. But I just want to be available for them and tell them, hey, keep doing it. Do a great job. Try to encourage them.
Yeah,
but it's narrowing.
That's
quickly.
That's the role is be supportive. In what way you can lend support.
So the big question, and you know this, but your audience is, what do you do if you're pursuing a playoff-bound coach?
So I asked Verge that on Tuesday on my show. And I said, would you wait, right? Because the complicating factor is December 3rd. 3rd through 5th is the early signing period.
Right.
And January the 3rd is the portal. And you have one portal window.
That's right.
So you hire a coach that makes the playoff and misses both those. He's inheriting a team that and then, by the way, how do you go sign a team?
Yes.
I mean, that's where if Frank Wilson doesn't get the job, he is paramount to your success next year.
No doubt.
Like he has to be back.
That's right.
Because he is the guy that will build your roster for you.
Yeah.
He and Austin Thomas, but they both have to be back.
And I think everybody knows those two guys from this present staff have to be. I think from the board to everybody's in agreement with that. In the new coach, I'm sure we'll see that. But what do you do? And I don't even know contractually how you do that, because let's say, Coach A, who's going to go into the playoffs, how can he even accept the offer and sign the contract, because he's got duties on the present contract to notify them? So he can't sign the contract to come work for LSU. Then he goes on a big run, he gets deep into it, and then changes his mind, says, well, I'm not going to come to you anymore.
Wink, wink, handshake. But you wouldn't have a guarantee. You're right.
No, you can't.
Well, think about Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer coached Washington to the national championship game and then left for Alabama.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly, when he took the LSU job, his team was, in theory, still in the mix for the playoff. But I think we knew that they were going to be just – that was a 14 playoff. They were going to be just on the outside looking in. We got a minute. Do you have a preference on a coach, either a name or criteria, qualifications?
I'm like one of those schoolgirls looking at Taylor Swift with her new songs and stuff.
Or my wife.
Yeah, or nobody can quit singing the song. It's everywhere now. I kind of get caught up in the Lane Kiffin thing and just go, wow, what would that be like?
Yeah.
Just the whole show, the energy, the play calling, all of it. It would just be – it would be, I can't use the word, though. It could be a blank show or it could be just the show, right? You don't know, but, man.
Please don't say.
I can't say that, the blank show or the show, but it would be, just when you watch the guy, there's just something different. He relates to the present culture of athletes, right? Yeah. He's the master on social media. He can recruit. He can obviously call. People want to go play for him right now. He's dynamic, all those things. And watching a little show, and apparently he's kind of cleaned up his life.
Yeah.
He quit drinking. He's more spiritual, some of those things that I respect. So that's kind of where I fall. But, Not my money.
It might be something.
It might be.
Oh, man. It might be your money. Gordon McKernan, thank you, man. Thank you very much for your time.
Always loved having
as always.
time with you.
It's our pleasure, and thanks for having us here as well at Court to Table. It's After Further Review. Muse, Paulie back in studio. We appreciate it. Alondra on site, always doing a phenomenal job. If you miss anything from today, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. You can get it podcast or YouTube. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After Further Review.
Arco Power Systems, arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com. When we talk about Arco, we're talking about standby generator power, but not for your home. This is for a place like Court's Table. Big industrial or commercial buildings. Think about storm comes, power goes out. What does that mean for your business? Well, Arco Power Systems services those businesses to make sure that you have standby generator power. Turnkey solutions. They can sell, they can rent, and they can service your standby generator power. It's Arco Power Systems. By the way, it's a massive company. They got an office in Little Rock, Mobile, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin, and all over Louisiana. So if you're a business owner in any of that giant footprint, arco.com, ARCCO, ARCCO. It's arco.com for Arco Power Systems.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.